You're like a circle that flows.
Welcome to Sison Homes podcast, your real estate for all seasons. And I am Christina Sison, where we can teach you everything you need to know about real estate. Um, Again, I started real estate when I was in my early 20s, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years. So I just add those numbers. No, but I know you have a lot of questions that you answered. And I think my experience and my knowledge about real estate could really, really help, especially the ones watching right now, if you have any questions. And we're going to have also some interviews with and making the home buying process less stressful and sort of like a very good accomplishment. So I would like to introduce to you my team members. Of course, we have Joy Hendrickson and Marielle Kamen.
Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, so Joy, tell me about yourself and um, how'd you gone to real estate?
So real estate. It's upon a time back into.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
So I actually worked for a builder, and I actually didn't start here in the U.S. I worked in the Philippines. So from there, moved to a brokerage called Sotheby's, and then moved here. Started actually in commercial, which is my passion, which you guys know. And that was a smaller firm in Montgomery County, and then I moved to Compass, and here we are all together.
Yeah, okay.
Wonderful. I took a complete different path to get to real estate. I used to be in a different industry, traveled all around the world, and realized I have to live somewhere. I have to have a permanent address at some point in time. And
That would be good.
yes, I had nowhere to forward my mail to anymore, and I wanted to learn how to be a homeowner myself. And I'm the type of person that wants to learn something, and then I want to teach it to others. And so I joined real estate because I want to be on that path of home ownership, but also be able to teach this to others that are in the same situation as me, and also grow their wealth through home ownership, investing, and just all the possibilities that come along with this industry.
That's awesome. So, we're talking about what's the next sort of like market. And they said that more than half of millennials and Gen Zs are going to be applying for a mortgage next year, and they want to explore this home ownership. And this podcast is dedicated also to those people who want to get their first home as well, and also try to also, if you want to move up to the process, get your home and treat this as an investment property and move to another house, and we can sort of like guide you through that whole process. Yeah. So, just ask any questions as questions. I mean, Maria, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them and to the audience right now.
I think one of the main things that at least I was facing at first, and a lot of my peers were facing, is just like that idea of renting and versus home ownership, and whether or not it makes a sound financial decision to continue to rent or to go on the path of home ownership. And I know, at least for my millennials out there, a lot of us graduated around the '08 housing crash. So a lot of us became the renter nation and got used to the flexibility, to kind of being digital nomads. But now we're kind of at that state in our life where maybe we're getting married, maybe we're having children, maybe we have a stable job that we know that we're going to be there for a few years. I guess, at what point is it that, if we know 10 years, like what would be that magic number to think about? Yes, I should stop renting. It makes financial sense to stop renting, versus when would be that time to just say, hey, I need to put roots down and maybe think about home ownership. Is there a magic number?
So wow, that's a lot of questions.
Sorry.
No, but first you got to think about as a young professional. If you actually would rent right now, let's say the rent in typical suburb, a typical city is about 1,800 to 2,000 a month rental, right? For a one bedroom, let's say 1 to 2 bedrooms. And then you have that opportunity, and you found out that you're gonna have you're gonna have a stable income, and for the same amount, you'll be able to own the place,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or spend a little bit of money more, and then you'll be able to be a homeowner yourself. There are two ways to approach it. First is that if your rent is actually going to be more than or equal that with your mortgage, then it makes sense for you to buy that place.
You said
Okay.
equal to or more than, then it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. Okay.
yeah. So, for example, let's say your mortgage, everything is gonna be like 2,300 a month, and then your rent is like maybe 2,000, right?
Mhm.
It's actually more, but the benefits that you're getting from your tax refund, from the deductions on the property interest, from your adjustments in your employment,
Yeah.
you'll be able to buy that property and have it as your own, a sense of accomplishment. But not only that, if you were able to get a townhouse and then you have a friend that's renting and want to rent from you and charge him $900,
Mhm.
then your rent is actually going to be more than how much your income will be, because your mortgage is going to be 2,000 minus 900, 1,100, and then it helps you pay for your mortgage. At the same time, all the money that's being placed there goes to the principal and interest.
Mhm.
So you are actually saving money.
Yeah, and I mean, and not only that, you're, paying that over time also builds your equity in
Yeah.
that home. In overall, in the long term, also increasing your net worth as a person.
Yes.
If you're just working and just paying, rent month to month, you're only as much as you earn. But each month that you rent over the course of, maybe 3 to 5 years, that equity builds up and your net worth kind of goes up in general, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny right now because a lot of people say, I don't want to buy right now. Interest rates are so high. So we have this saying, what did I say?
Marry the house and date the rate.
Yeah, marry the house and date the rate.
What does that mean? Marry the house. So if we find a house,
Found a house you like, and then
Lock 'em in.
you lock him in, and
Fall in
then
love
you
with, yeah.
you have a stable monthly rent, but you have a stable monthly mortgage. However, it can change because the rate would change. So if the rates go down, then you can be subject to a lower monthly payment, but you already dated you had to marry the house,
Yeah.
so you locked the price already. So that's what people fail to understand, especially in this area. There was a 6 month inventory shortage, and now it's getting better, but it's just normalizing.
Mhm.
People don't understand that it's a very especially in our market in the DMV area, there's a lot of people with good jobs and opportunity bubble coming up because of the demand. I'm just speaking to our local area.
the
I'm not
DC,
spe-
Maryland,
yeah,
Virginia
DC,
area.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of fear. So everyone says, but the interest rates, and that's all you hear. So, that's one way to explain it, that people should not be afraid. Is what
And
you're
then at
saying.
the same time, it's same as equivalent, because before, like, you have a 500,000 house, 20 people want it, it becomes 550. They bid 50,000 over. Thousand house, you'll be able to on the inspections, you'll be able to negotiate on some items, and then maybe you get the house for 475,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So 550 and 475, and then if your interest rates is at 3%, 4%, then and then now it's at 6%, your monthly payment is really the same because the sales price
Exactly.
changed. And then when the sales price change, you're locked with the sale price. Now, if the mortgage rate goes down, then you'll be able to lower your mortgage.
Refinance,
See,
yeah.
so it's actually really a good time to buy right now,
Mhm.
and you have to get a real estate professional to help you, to guide you through the process, because again, we like to help you minimize your cost in purchasing. And people don't know that you'll only need 10.
Mhm.
And people, what, Christina, not 20%? I said, no, it's just
Yeah.
3%, because we can negotiate the closing costs on the back end through, through seller concession. And then, there are grants available for people in the nursing, police, community enforcement, all those all those professions. You have grants from different sectors giving money away,
Yeah.
and people don't understand that. So if you are in the in the medical field or in the firefighter education, etc., just call one of us and we'll try to help you with the process.
Yeah, I mean, so in other words, like anyone out there that may be thinking about buying a home and are kind of scared by all the interest rates and all
Yeah.
the headlines that are going on, you're saying that right now is actually a great time to buy because one, sellers are a little bit more motivated to sit down and negotiate on some of the terms.
Right.
Some of the contingencies that previously were waived during the
The
frenzy in the
frenzy
last 2
period,
years,
yes.
where they were overbidding. You can now, you don't have to waive them, right, in order to get that house. So you can actually see what is inside of the house and understand what you're actually buying. So you're being a more conscious consumer to a degree, right?
Yeah.
And then
No peer pressure.
Yeah, there's no peer pressure, yeah.
And you have more negotiating power
There we
to
go.
be able to negotiate what you feel good about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like a win-win. It's not like here it's like, I would be because that fear, oh my goodness, the market's gonna crash, etc. Just remember, during inflation, real estate is the most stable
Yeah.
investment. You have your fixed rate, you have your mortgage, it's not subject to rent increases. You own the place, and you can leverage that for any other possibility. So, and there's a number of home buyer assistance programs out there for people, especially the millennials and the Gen Z's market. Try to think about
Yeah, so
If
if you're
there's
watching
demand.
right now, please put in the comments if we should do a time home buyer seminar, and if you would like your exclusive invite.
yeah. So save the date. I think we're planning one for January 26th, right?
You think you already have the date?
Yeah. We have one for January 26th, guys. We have we're gonna give you all valuable resources and set you up for. You don't need to buy right now, but within a 6-month period, we'll be able to plan it that way. You can be ready. So if your rent is still ongoing and take advantage of that.
I think there was also so and has been continuously going up, and then the average rent increases by like 17
Yes.
percent.
Yes.
So again, if you're out there, a lot of at least my peers, they're scared of joining, starting this process because they don't know about financing. They're scared of the responsibility. So please mark it on your calendars. January 26th, we're having a first-time home buyers real estate investor seminar where you can just understand the process and understand like what is all involved. The more comfortable that you'll feel in entering this process, or just playing around with if this is something that you would like to entertain in 2023.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
I sold it.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Yes, we are live.
Hey, this is Cam Labs Productions, just Cameo. Christoph behind.
Yeah, I
The
like
three
to. Yeah.
beautiful ladies of Sison Homes.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about millennials and investing? Because that was one question earlier. we had.
Oh, yeah. So there was a question that one of the I think Alex raised was, how can I minimize my expenses if I want to buy a house? There's so much strategies that we can do that. Let's say, just make sure that you saved at least 3% and you come talk to me. 3% is all you need. What is 3%? So if it's $500,000, 3% off 400,000. If you have $15,000, up, and instead of putting it in your stock market or something that can, probably lose your money. A lot of people are losing money with stocks right now, but for that, we'll be able to get you a place provided that you have taken care of your credit, right? And also, if you just got a new job, you'll still be able to get this privilege because there are mortgage companies right now that with an offer letter from a reputable company, they will give you a mortgage. Okay, so what happens is, like, for example, for a $400,000 house, let's say in Fairfax, and you might want to have I want to buy a townhouse. So let's say my monthly payment is like 2,500 a month because I'm not putting anything down. I'm just putting 3% down, right? So with that, it's 4 bedrooms, and you have some friends who don't want to buy but rent but want to be with you. So probably just let them rent the other 2 rooms, and they're gonna pay you, let's say, $750 each. So that's they're happy with that because oh my God, I'm saving money. So you're gonna have $1,500 on your pocket. Then your mortgage is 2,500. So 2,500 minus 1,500 is $1,000.
Yep.
So that's all you need.
Yep.
Now, if you want to rent the basement to another person, you can rent the basement for 1,000, and technically you're not putting any money out. Okay, that's like an investment insight wherein people that you trust and like pay for your mortgage, and you like them, and you have a good time in the house.
You have to like them.
Very important.
Or if you wanted to be super separate, you can get a house that has a separate basement and separate entrance. Just lock the entrance from the basement to the upstairs unit, and you can rent that for, let's say, $1,200 or $1,100 if it's big, and then you'll just be, if you want your own privacy, you can just have the whole upper level. I had a client. She purchased, it's a VA loan. They purchased at that time like a $1.2 million house, but interest rates then was like a 3.5%. But what's nice about that is that the lower level was renting for $2,600 a month.
Wow.
Right? So technically, the mortgage, because it's a VA loan, was like at $5,000 because it's $1 million house at that time because interest rates were so low then. But then they locked that in, and then they paid $2,500. So how much would you actually have to be able to afford a beautiful house like that? $2,500. And then a lot of you guys, especially millennials, you have those luxury apartments that you pay a bunch of money for, 2, 3, 4,000. But it's your lifestyle. Again, we sell lifestyle, so it has to make sense for you. So, for example, for, let's say, millennial, or even if like a entrepreneur who works from home, who wants to have a home office, who wants to have a pool, who wants to have access to the biking trails, etc., you'll be able to go a little bit far, but still get that lifestyle. It's up to you, But again, it has to be, you have to look at it in terms of me as an investment opportunity for me as well, but at the same time, I'm enjoying it, and it has to make sense.
Yeah. Well, the key is knowing what the options are, because a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So if you're young and you're starting out and you're like, I want to own, what can I do? Pick one of these options, right?
Yes, exactly. Or if you're comfortable in living in where you are and you like the lifestyle, you can also opt for just investing in a property that you're not going to live in. I mean, that's also a good option for you, as long as it pays, as long as the rent equals your mortgage. You always have to look at that. Does it make sense for me to invest in it? Sometimes it really does, because sometimes, especially for for farther places where, and townhouses are 200,000 and your mortgage is like 800. It rents for 1,200, so you have a $400 cash flow. Imagine if you have 10 of those. That's that's like, how much is that? Then it will help you sustain the life that you want. It's actually really the strategy and ability to sort of map everything. I've been in the business for almost 30 years. I have clients who just started investing with me 2005. They now have about 15 properties, and they're so thankful. That's why I still have free meals sometimes. Yeah, but it works. It works. It's just a matter of consistency and a matter of trying to make sure that the investment is well. Buildings, income generating properties. We have Joy here. for our commercial division. So Joy, tell me more about what your experience is like.
Yeah, so I highly recommend pursuing commercial only because it is not as daunting as some people might think, right? You think commercial, you go, oh my gosh, like the reports and everything. It's not as bad as it seems, honestly. And you can be a millennial and still be a landlord. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So why not own, instead of maybe a residential home, why not own a piece of commercial? Have an income generating property. It could be retail, it could be an office, it could be, you know, a warehouse. That's really the trend now because there's such low inventory, which is crazy, right? Because we shifted from COVID, from businesses being, you know, brick and mortar, so everybody's online. But where do you store your things? And that's always my issue with my buyers or my clients. Joy, we need warehouse. And I'm sorry, there aren't any. I'm sorry to say. But yeah, I don't think it's, you know, we're here to guide you. So anytime you want to approach this, you know, we'll hold your hand and just do everything from building a business plan. You know, we'll start from the very, very beginning, what you would actually need. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. As we say, we dream, we plan, we make it happen. It's actually a quote that I got. I don't know where that came from, but sometimes when you just dream and then we plan it and then it happens, you know. So for you out there who really want to own your home, it's not too late. Even if you mess up your credit, we can still make sure that we can it with strategy and with a game plan.
so all the socials. So make sure Sison Homes, our website, www.sisonhomes.com. We have our YouTube at Sison Homes. We have our IG at Sison Homes. So we are out
Yeah.
there. So please reach out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, so you know, if you want to stay tuned, please follow our podcast. We're going to be launching these every single month. As Christina was saying, we have later on we have interior designer, we have a home inspector, we have attorneys, we have everything that guides you. All these professionals that guide you through the real estate transaction is to be joining us on our podcast. So please make sure you tune in with us every single month, every single week, and just get the latest updates so that we can make sure that your real estate transaction is as seamless and you have people like us guiding you through the entire process.
and also I like shout out to all the organization, National ACE, ACE Next Gen, Asian Hustle Network, Asian American Chamber of Commerce, Philippine American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for the present that you have dropped off in our in my place, and the thank you card. I appreciate you guys, and would love to collaborate and support you guys in your events because you know it's a win-win for us. We actually also love hanging out with you as well.
We like you guys.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we are gonna be stay tuned.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound.